starts blinking the red.
Do you want to demonstrate that?
Is that the camera?
What was the question?
That's the camera
Yeah.
that
The same
that
manufacturer.
you purchased.
Yes, this is the one I purchased.
Is the camera that's in your hand right now, is that the same one you testified to that you purchased that you've been testing?
Yes, sir.
So is it fair to say the only time you've seen a flashing red light on that camera is if it was recording?
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
What's your name again?
My name is Crystal Moore.
Where do you work?
Maple Lakes.
Land O'Lakes Tax Collector's Office?
Yes, sir.
Is Mike Fasano your boss?
Yep.
Is Timothy Kuwait your boss?
Yep.
Did they tell you we can record inside there as long as we're back up and
I
not?
have not told me that.
Where did the office manager get that information from?
I have no clue.
Objection,
Wh-
speculation.
It's not speculation. I played you
You
the
can't
video.
testify to where this lady got that from.
You're in charge of the safety agents?
Yeah.
Did you hear the testimony where Jerry said? Jerry's your underling, right?
He's under me, yes, but I did not hear his testimony. I was not part of that.
Can I play it for you? Can I play it for her?
The video you played earlier?
Yeah.
Sure. So you don't have any objection?
No. I'll object to the question.
Okay. All right.
That's Jerry, right?
Yes.
Is that your employee?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that lady?
I do.
Who is she?
She's the office manager at Maple Lakes.
And you hear her saying as long as they're back away from the counter, they can record in here, right?
I'm going to show that
I'm sorry?
footage. The date of that footage.
August of last year.
Okay.
Is this lady your employee?
No.
So you're not in charge of her?
Yep.
But he is your employee?
Yes.
And you see they're both agreeing to that?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, not my employee.
You see Jerry nodding, right? Okay.
But we nod to people when we hear them.
Excuse me?
We nod to people when we hear them talking to us. I'm nodding to you now, but that doesn't mean I agree with you.
So you don't agree with me that that's Jerry?
That's Jerry, but
Okay.
I'm not saying he's nodding because he agrees. He's nodding because
So she
he's
agrees.
talking to him.
She agrees.
Objection, and I object to any question of her interpreting people on a video that she wasn't present for, she doesn't know anything about.
She wasn't present for my last trespass either, but we're still taking her testimony. Now she needs to be present.
You testify to policies of the office. That's
Sure.
what she's testified to.
Here's one of her employees saying it's okay if they record in here.
Well, I think the question he's objecting to is the body language of Jerry.
Okay, fine, forget the nodding, that's fine.
All right, good.
That Mike Fasano instructed them basically, as long as they're not, creating havoc or anything like that, they are allowed to record inside with no issues or anything like that. They're just trying to get a raise up there. Open the area, they can't go into the offices or anything. That's not that restricted to the public. Correct.
Pretty clear, right?
It is, but I got black and white policy.
I'm sorry, so when your employee is agreeing with the police officers that it's okay to record in there, they're mistaken?
Yes.
Oh, they're mistaken.
Because
The office manager's mistaken and Jerry who works under you is mistaken.
Yes.
Oh.
Misunderstanding.
And the police are mistaken?
I can't answer for the police. That's not
Did you just hear the police say it's fine to record in there according to Mike Fasano?
Again, I didn't hear that myself.
You didn't just hear it?
I didn't hear Mr. Fasano tell the sheriff's office that they're allowed
Do
to
you,
do that.
do you speak to Mike Fasano?
I do.
And you've never heard him say this?
No.
Have you ever heard Tim Kuwait say this?
No.
So were these people delusional?
I'm not saying they're delusional. I'm saying there's a miscommunication or a misunderstanding.
Yeah, point, Mr. Filax. That was my whole point before.
She works at the Land O'Lake office.
Right.
Her direct, it's not a mistake. That's the whole point.
She's testifying that her.
I know she's
supervisors-
testifying that it's a mistake, conveniently.
No, she's testifying that her supervisors
Mhm.
never told her that. And
Right.
you're asking, well, why did this lady say that? I don't know.
Where
She's wrong, that's what she's testifying.
Where would these people get this information from?
I don't know. I
Well,
can't answer
she
them.
can't testify to that, I agree with Mr. Downey. And think about it, anybody you work with, you're responsible for if they misunderstand something, I mean, that's not reasonable. She's telling you she's.
Her
wrong.
direct underling said they can record in here as long as they back up.
She's saying they're wrong, she's not standing by it.
Okay. And you won't let me show you Mike Fasano saying it because I don't have it with me today, correct?
Correct, unless,
Okay.
I mean.
So Mike Fasano's never, ever directed you to what these people are saying in this video?
No,
Tim's never directed you that?
no, sir.
So what is the direction from Tim and Mike Fasano about recording
The
inside the
direction
process?
is our policy that's in black and
Okay.
white, they've already seen.
Now, how do you know this model and that model are the exact same?
I didn't say they were exact same, I said they were similar.
Okay, does that mean they're the same?
No.
Does that mean they function the same?
Similar.
Does that mean they function the same?
They're similar. That's the way I answered it. That's all I can say. I'm not a body cam professional. They're similar.
So you don't know if they're the same.
They're similar. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are they the exact same?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not a professional.
I didn't ask if you were a professional, man.
Good.
Okay. So were you at the tax collector's office that day when I was there?
Yeah.
So you have no personal first-hand knowledge of what happened that day?
Other than video,
Is the video open for public records, the surveillance video?
I'm not in charge of video of public records, so I can't answer that.
Who is in charge of public records?
We have a group that's in charge of that.
Do I have a right to make public records requests in person?
You do.
Okay, so if I'm accosted and being treated like a school shooter for trying to get a public record, is that your policy to treat the public that way?
No, not when they're there for service.
Right, so I was there for a service, you agree with that,
I
right?
do.
And the reason I couldn't get the service is?
Because you refuse to put your body camera in the car or turn it around at least, so that. we
Ma'am,
have
how do you know this?
insurance
How do you know that?
You were not recording.
How do you know I was instructed to put the body cam in my car?
She said through the testimony.
I did.
Yeah, but that's hearsay from another guy. We just said we can't go by, how do you know he's not mistaken? We just said the other person could be mistaken, now he can't be mistaken?
You asked how did she know that you were instructed to put it up? You testified to it, and so did the other.
I didn't testify to that. I was never told to put it in my car. Never.
That's what you testified.
No, sir. No, sir. He told me to take it off. He didn't tell me to go outside. He didn't tell me to go to my car. None of that stuff. He said, take it off.
I misunderstood. I thought you said he told you to take it to your car.
No.
That was the only option.
Absolutely
Because
not.
You made the argument, well, I don't have to go back out to my car if there's a news story.
Yeah, my argument is that if I have all my equipment and I want to record the outside, and then I want to take notes on the inside, I have to take my stuff all the way to the car, go inside, take notes.
But where did the car thing come from then? If he
He made that up.
Oh, you're saying he testified that he told you to put it.
He tested, not me.
All right, I misunderstood. I thought.
No, he did not tell me to take it to my car. He said, take it off.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have a right to wear a camera in there?
No,
I-
not that we have the perception that it could be live. and
So
we
your
can't
perception supersedes the law.
Perception, yes. We've got to go by perception.
Instead of the law.
If it's possible that you're recording and I'm endangering private information from my customers, I have to do away with that. I have to ask you to put it away.
Okay,
Ask you
so
to turn it off.
if
Ask
someone's
you to
wearing
turn it off.
glasses that record,
I'm sorry?
if someone's wearing glasses that have a camera in them, how would you do that?
I probably wouldn't know.
So,
But
does
if I-
everybody,
a body
hold on,
cam
ma'am,
serves
hold on,
no
ma'am,
purpose.
please, hold on. Does everyone in there have, ma'am, please, just answer my questions.
I will.
Does everyone in there have a camera in their pocket?
No.
So your phone doesn't have a camera?
Mine does, but not everybody else's does. And maybe
Do the
they're all
majority of smartphones these days have a camera app on them?
They do.
Can the majority of people in the United States take their phone out of their pocket and record?
If we see a customer pull the phone out.
That's not my question, ma'am.
Not in the tax collector, no.
I'm sorry?
Not in the tax
Do the
collector, no.
majority of Americans have the capability to record video in a moment's notice? They do. Does everyone in the majority of people who walk in the tax collector's office have a camera in their pocket on their phone?
They do, but they're not
How do you know this?
Because they would have their camera out to get the video.
So if I turn my phone over and put it on my clipboard like this,
I'm gonna ask you, if I see it blinking or I think that you're recording
phones
me,
blink?
based on your body language, I'm gonna ask you, are you recording me? Because if you are, I'm gonna ask you to turn that off.
Okay, so let's say I do that.
Same thing.
I think,
If you give me the
So you're telling me if I just hold my phone here, you're going to be suspicious and perceive that I'm recording you?
If you give me the impression that's a possibility, yes, I'm gonna ask you.
So you strictly go by your feelings. Is that correct? No objective measures are necessary? No proof?
We've had CDL drivers come in with GoPros on their app. We ask them to put them in the car. They do it.
You ask, it's a request, it's not mandatory, correct?
We ask them. They can't
Is it a
have cameras.
request or is it mandatory?
We first ask. If
Is
they
it a
don't-
request or is it mandatory?
you don't need to badger the witness. She was saying.
She's not answering. Is it a request or not?
They asked.
They
and
ask,
you're supposed
and
to
then if you
finish,
don't
and you
comply,
interrupted her.
now it's mandatory.
Wait,
Policy comes
say
out.
again, say again.
When we ask if you don't comply,
Uh-huh.
then the policy comes out.
And
Trespass.
so the policy says you cannot have a camera.
You can't be using a camera now.
That's not what I asked her.
But she, okay.
That is not what I asked her. They're being deceptive and evasive again. Am I allowed to have a camera in there, yes or no?
In your pocket, yes.
Oh, okay, show me the policy that says only in your pocket you can have a camera.
It's not in policy.
So where is it?
It's a judgment call. We have to enforce that policy. The only way to enforce that policy is to eliminate any potential for arrest.
So no phones are allowed in there?
They are, but they can't be up. Like somebody's recording. You know yourself. You can tell
Oh,
when
I'm sorry.
somebody's
So,
recording.
so they can't be up, but they can be like that, right?
Yep. As long as you got your finger over that camera, I'm not going to ask you.
Oh, so I have to have my hand over the lens. Is that correct?
Eliminate me thinking you're recording. Yes,
So
sir.
I need to come in there and prove myself innocent to you. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that, but don't speculate. Don't give me the assumption
Isn't that what you're doing?
that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Aren't you speculating when you say I'm recording?
No.
What evidence do you
You're
have?
blinking, and I can see my camera does the same thing.
Is this blinking?
No.
Am I
Setting.
recording?
There's a setting you can turn off.
Right. So it doesn't matter if it's blinking or not, correct? That's irrelevant.
Not every body camera that comes in, we're gonna ask whether it's blinking red or not.
So every phone that comes in, you're going to ask. Every phone that has a camera on it.
That's held up, yes.
So if they're held up, and that's in the policy, where can I read that?
It's not in the policy, sir.
So you're just making this up?
The only way I can enforce a policy is to be proactive, and that's how I'm proactive.
You're proactive by?
By
She's
eliminating
testifying.
the potential
Oh,
for someone to record.
Man, let me finish this.
Everyone has the potential to record, do they not?
They do if it's out of their pocket and it's hanging up in the air.
But what if it's in their pocket like this?
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Well, I could be recording right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with
So you wouldn't perceive this as recording?
that. No.
Oh my goodness. So again, we're going based on your emotions and your perceptions and your feelings. We're not going on any objective facts.
Emotions and not feelings. Perception, yes.
What you perceive is how you feel, is it not?
No.
I feel like he was recording. I perceive
Perceived that you were recording.
because a light was blinking.
Yes.
And you see now that there's no light blinking,
Right.
but I'm still recording.
Okay.
You understand that?
I do.
Okay. So there's no way for you to know.
Okay. So from now on, you currently brought
That
that
doesn't
light to
prove
us.
that you weren't recording, though.
Huh?
That doesn't prove.
They have to prove I was recording. I don't have to prove that I wasn't.
All right, well, what, can you make it blink red when you're not recording?
You can set it any way you
I'm
want.
asking you a specific question.
You can set it up any way you want.
Okay, so it can blink red when it's not recording?
I'm not sure, honestly. I haven't gone through all the functions. I haven't had it that long, but
So you've never used it where it's blinking red and you weren't recording?
I'm not sure about that, honestly.
That's a problem.
Why is it a problem?
Because they testified that it was blinking. You just testified you don't think you've ever used it where it was blinking where you weren't recording.
I didn't testify that.
You just said it.
Do I have to prove myself innocent here?
Yeah, you're the appellant.
I have to prove myself innocent?
You have to.
I don't have to be proven
I
guilty?
should overturn the appeal. The burden's on you.
Say again?
You filed an appeal. The burden's on you to overturn.
I didn't get an original hearing. What do you mean?
You appealed the trespass.
Right.
All right.
I wasn't recording. They have no evidence I was recording. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. They're going by their perception and their emotions and their feelings.
Most of it, actually, but I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know.
What don't you know, sir?
We'll get to it when you testify.
I'm confused.
Me too.
So, the only evidence you have that I was recording was that you perceive I was recording.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Other than that, you have nothing else.
No. Customers were certainly under that same perception.
Which customers?
Our customers in the lobby, that's why they were upset when we stopped business.
They were upset because you stopped business, not because I was standing way off to the side, right? Making a records request?
They were upset that you had a camera and their information was in jeopardy.
You have evidence of this?
In return, I had to stop business.
Do you have evidence of this?
I don't.
Do you have a testimony, written testimony, affidavit, a witness statement?
I don't.
Do you have anything?
I will make sure we get that.
Do you have anything?
I don't today.
Just your perception.
Yes.
And why should I trust you?
You don't have to.
Well, I'm asking, are you trustworthy?
I am.
And why should I trust you?
Because I'm trustworthy. I'm an honorary person.
You are?
I am.
Okay. Is your policy congruent with the law?
Objection.
I'm not a legal attorney.
No?
I know the policy's the policy and I enforce it.
Does your policy have to be congruent with the law?
Objection.
Again, I'm not an
Ms.
attorney.
Felix, we've gone down this road 1,000 times. Are you challenging the constitutionality of the
Nope.
policy?
The legality?
All right, well then, that's not what we're here for today either.
Okay.
It's whether. the
Can
policy-
your policy be changed on a whim?
It can be adjusted as society changes, as the public changes.
I'm saying, not in writing, can his manager told him to go out and record me. And he said it was in the video recording policy, and then he changed his
It's
testimony.
not in the policy, it's part of the procedure that they were instructed to do.
So they're instructed to violate the policy.
They didn't violate the policy. There's a section in there that says government can do it, and it also allows us to do it for safety issues. So when we feel we have a safety issue, we're certainly allowed to record.
Do I have the right for my own safety to make an objective record?
No, if you fear for your safety, you need to call law enforcement.
I did call law enforcement.
Okay,
Okay.
then you follow the proper protocol. If you fear for your safety, you call law enforcement. That's what all of us do.
So what safety was in jeopardy? Whose safety?
The safety of the privacy of the information of the customers we had in the office at the time that you were there.
So do you believe it's illegal to gather private information?
And make it public? Yes.
I didn't say that, ma'am. Just answer the question.
The state gathers that information. We don't on a county level.
Is it illegal for someone to gather personal information on a camera?
Yeah,
Relevance.
what's relevance?
Because they're saying the Driver Protection and Privacy Act, which only pertains to their employees in the motor vehicle database, something I do not have access to, something that doesn't apply to me.
I understand exactly what it is and what they're saying about it. It's their responsibility to keep it private, that's what you're getting at, right?
Right, and you cannot violate an American citizen to keep the records private. You have to create privacy with either take them to a private room, put up some walls like they did during COVID.
Again, I think that's a constitutionality of policy argument. but-
It's not.
Okay.
The law also says it's not illegal to gather content, but only to knowingly distribute or publish it. So I can go in there and record all day by law,
You,
anyone.
right, but you,
Mhm.
they are required to not let you do that. They're required to protect that information.
That has not, the DPPA does not say that at all, anywhere. Where in the DPPA does it say you have the right to stop someone from recording in public?
It doesn't say they have the right to
Doesn't
stop
say
the
that.
recording.
It doesn't say that.
It says that they have
Have to
the
protect it.
duty to protect it from disclosure to you if it's not your information.
Right.
Okay,
I don't have the duty.
you're right.
Right.
That's why they created a policy to stop you from recording because it's their duty.
It's their
That
duty
concept.
to create privacy, not by violating a human being.
Okay.
Because then they could say you can't wear a cross. Then they could say you don't have free speech in here. It's all under the
No,
same
there's plenty of case
thing.
law about time, place, and manner restrictions.
Correct. When they're open for business in a public place.
No, there's time, place, and manner restrictions.
Right.
They put
The
up.
time is during business hours.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue the constitutionality of it.
I'm not talking about
That is what
constitutionality.
That's exactly what you're doing. It's what you've been doing this whole time.
No. The law is the law.
Do you have any more questions of this?
Yeah. Does the policy have to be congruent with the law?
He objected, I sustained that, you don't have to answer that.
Who creates policy?
Upper management.
Do they use a lawyer? Tim Couette testified that they make it out of thin air in our last hearing. You understand that, right?
I do. Also, you asked a very general question. I mean, if you want to pick apart the testimony like you were doing to them, we can do that, but I don't see.
What's the name of the lawyer they use?
I don't know, honestly.
Are you in the meetings when the policies are written?
No.
How do you know they use a lawyer?
I'm told they use a lawyer.
You're told, so it's hearsay. So you don't know, you don't have personal first-hand knowledge.
You didn't ask her that, though.
I'm asking. I'm asking right now.
Okay.
So you don't have personal first-hand knowledge that they use a lawyer? Okay. Did you see the last hearing?
No.
Okay. And your employee is mistaken. The police are mistaken. You don't know if they're the same body cam. You weren't there that day in Wesley Chapel, correct?
No, sir, I wasn't.
And what is the screen you're saying I saw? Or I should have seen? Or I should have seen?
I've been very patient with you and allowed you to ask whatever you want to ask. She never testified to that. I don't see the point in where we're going. She
What?
said it was in a conspicuous place.
What was in a conspicuous place?
These postings that they admitted as evidence already.
And you're claiming I saw that?
No,
Those are on the
she never
TV
testified to that.
If you look at the
Sir, are
TV,
you acting as her lawyer now?
No, my patience is running thin when you object to everything he says, and you're asking stuff.
Nobody objected to anything I'm saying except you right now.
Yeah, I am objecting to it.
Okay, are you acting as
I've already
her?
asked her, and I've already made a decision on it.
Okay, what do the signs say?
the sign above gatekeeper says, please check it.
And how do you know they were functioning that day?
It's not a lighted sign, it's just a manual sign that hangs.
Oh, it's a hard copy? Can I see that?
Whatever that is hasn't been admitted in that result.
Oh, please check in, okay. So you said you saw me on surveillance, correct?
I did.
And I walked in and I went in and sat down, correct?
You did.
And I was taking notes, right?
Yes.
Then after a few minutes, I got up and, was I peaceful?
From the video, yes.
Was I peaceful when I went up to the gatekeeper?
Yes.
Was I peaceful towards the gatekeeper?
I don't know. I didn't see anything pass.
Has anyone told you that I was unpeaceful towards the gatekeeper?
No, but they wouldn't tell me.
Why wouldn't they
Office
tell?
managers who would get the report.
Are you not the office manager?
No.
So you have nothing to do with Wesley Chapel?
I oversee the safety agents and I oversee external services.
In Wesley Chapel, you oversee the agents?
Yes.
Are the agents armed when they're giving driving tests?
Yes.
Did you see me flailing, doing anything threatening to anyone?
No, but I didn't watch the whole video. Like I said, I only watched the portion where you sat in the lobby with no ticket and then got up to gatekeeper.
So when I asked the gatekeeper for public records, did she say to me, please take a ticket?
I don't know. I don't have audio.
What-
I'm seeing visual.
Okay, so you don't know if the gatekeeper told me to take a ticket?
I don't.
Okay. Am I allowed to do public records requests there?
Yes.
Did you instruct Mr. Gentry to tell me we don't do those here and you're not allowed to be here to do those?
My safety agents don't handle public records requests. It's the staff that handles those, the office staff.
So if Mr. Gentry's involving himself in a public records request, he's also mistaken, he shouldn't have done that?
He was mistaken in the fact that he needed to run it through management and take the proper protocol that way.
So he didn't do his job correctly?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in that day.
That day he didn't do his job correctly? So that day he didn't do his job correctly, okay. What's the policy for if somebody requests a manager?
Usually you ask a gatekeeper, or if you get to the counter and you're working with a CSR, you ask the CSR, they get a manager, and they come over and they address you.
Now, when I asked the gatekeeper to make a public records request, she says, hold on, I'm gonna go ask my manager. Now, why didn't I get to speak to a manager?
I can't answer that. I don't oversee managers.
What's the policy towards how you treat the public?
We treat them with dignity and respect, and we expect the same thing back.
Or what about sarcasm? Is that part of the policy?
No,
How about aggressiveness?
no.
No? Did you see Jeff being aggressive towards me?
I didn't see the video of Jeff.
Why did you stop watching?
That's the only piece that they gave me.
Who's they?
IT. I pulled it from IT. IT gave me the video of you coming in and sitting in the office without getting a ticket. That was the main concern on my end.
So you never saw me being unsafe?
I didn't watch the video.
The video you've seen, was I being unsafe?
No, From the
What-
time you sat in the lobby to the time you approached the gatekeeper the first time, there was no aggression.
Nothing.
No.
Right. So why would a safety agent get involved?
Because now you're by the door and you're noticed that you have a body cam on. When you sat in the lobby, nobody noticed you had that body cam on.
And now you're saying you're going to revise the policy that no cameras can be in there at all?
I'm not saying the policy is going to be revised. It may be clarified, but certainly anybody that gives us the perception that there's that possibility that video is being taken or being recorded, we're going to address it.
So it's going to be based on your perception and your perception only? Not law, not anything else?
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer.
Is it going to be based on your perception only and the perception of the employees of the TCO?
It's going to be based on the interpretation of the policy unless they make it more black and white and defined.
So not perception now. Earlier you testified perception.
Perception of the policy, our understanding of the policy, to me are one and the same in interchangeable terms. So unless they change that policy and make it more direct and black and white, yes, it's going to be my
You didn't
perception.
testify that if you perceive on your recording. Didn't you testify that earlier? You didn't say anything about the policy.
I'm still saying, if I perceive that you're recording, you're in violation of my policy, I have to address it.
So if somebody's surreptitiously recording, everything's fine. You have no recourse. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry?
If someone is surreptitiously recording, you have no recourse then, right?
Somebody what? I'm sorry?
Surreptitiously. In other words, they're recording, but you can't tell. I have a pen camera. I have a pin camera. I have a tie camera.
No, we can't get that defined with it, unfortunately. I wish we could, but we can't.
So if I want to record in the TCO, all I got to do is have a hidden camera and everything will be fine. Is that correct?
You're running the risk when you expose that video
Risk of?
of violating our policy.
Then what? How would you prove it?
That's not my job, that's an attorney's job.
So you go by your perception. So if you don't perceive there's a hidden camera, there's nothing you can do. You don't see an issue there?
No.
There's no issue. So in other words, what you're saying is anyone who wants to record in the public lobby of the TCO, they have to hide it better so that you don't perceive that somebody's recording.
And the customers don't see it either.
On the surveillance, did you see the other people recording in there?
No.
Did you see me recording in there?
I saw you with your body camera.
Did you see me recording?
I couldn't verify that it was
So
on or
you
not.
still can't tell if I was recording or not,
I couldn't
to
verify.
this day.
Yeah, I object outside the scope. She wasn't even involved in the decision.
Then why's she here?
She testifies to their general policies. I agree. Any other questions?
And just to be clear, what your direct employee is saying, he's mistaken about the recording inside there, what they told the police and everything.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, very good.
Redirect.
All right, just more, the video that was showed from the Land O'Lakes office, the August 28th video, the manager of the Land O'Lakes office.
Yes.
So that's 6 months ago, give or take.
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge of that video?
No.
What you saw in that video consistent with your written policy that you abide by?
Not for the fact, no. No.
Talking about cameras and smartphones, you were asking cross-examination, well, everyone has a camera in their pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is your office's video recording policy, is it meant to ban all cell phone use in the tax collector's office?
Not all cell phone use, just the video taking. Occasionally we have parents, when the kids first get their driver's license, of course they want to get that picture. They just passed the road test. We ask them to take it outside. We have parents that want to take videos of a little toddler running through the lobby. And again, we go over and tell them, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You'll need to take it outside. And they do.
Okay, doesn't the policy actually say this is not intended as an all-encompassing ban on the use of cell phones?
Yes.
So you have to kind of make an analysis on a case-by-case basis, right?
Yes, sir.
Someone walking around with a phone in their pocket, that's not gonna trigger any?
It isn't, no.
Compared with someone with a body camera strapped to their chest with a flashing red light, is that kind of gonna raise
It
alarm?
is. And a body camera has no other purpose.
You were asked about eyeglass cameras and pen cameras, and your staff, I mean, they can't They can't stop every incident of video recording, unfortunately.